Long, narrow, and shaped like a rhomboid, Tennessee is divided topographically into 6 major physical regions. These regions include the Unaka Mountains on the eastern border, the Great Valley of East Tennessee, the Cumberland Plateau, the Highland Rim up here in the Nashville area, the Central Basin down here below Nashville, and the Gulf Coastal Plain over in the west. Today I'll be doing my presentation on how the topography of East Tennessee relates to the climate and weather in our region. I'll be focusing on 2 of the 6 regions, the Unaka Mountains and the Great Valley of Eastern Tennessee. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is climate? Well, climate is actually the average weather taken over a span of 30 years. Climate is not the same as weather, but is actually the average pattern of weather for a particular region. Overall, the climate in our area is very mild. The easternmost region of Tennessee is the Unaka Mountains. These mountains are actually part of the Appalachian chain. The most notable range in these mountains is the Smoky Mountains, which includes the highest point in the state, Clingman's Dome. Now, this dome, located right here outside of Pigeon Forge and Sevierville, rises to a peak of over 6,000 feet. Due west of the Unakas is the Great Valley of East Tennessee. This region consists of long, narrow ridges with broad valleys between them and covers more than 9,000 square miles of our state. This area contains many artificial lakes and dams built and operated by the Tennessee Valley Authority, or as you may know them as the TVA. The TVA also supplies electrical power and aids in flood control for our area. One of the aspects of climate in East Tennessee is directly related to these mountains is the decrease in temperature with the elevation. Now this decrease in temperature amounts to about 3 degrees Fahrenheit per every 1,000 increase in elevation. So the East Tennessee mountains have a lower average temperature than the Great Valley, which flanks in other lower parts of the state. In the Great Valley, temperature increases from north to south. This actual temperature is comparable with that of eastern Ohio. The average annual temperature of East Tennessee is nearly 45 degrees atop our highest mountain peaks. The average July temperature, however, is more like the southern edge of Canada's Hudson Bay. Elevation also contributes to cool, pleasant summers and cold, blustery winters, although we haven't really seen one this year. So you might be asking yourself, how does our topography, how does all this affect our precipitation? Well, together with the temperature, this plays an important role in determining what plant and animal life are adaptable to our area. Annual precipitation in the Great Valley, right in this region here, averages to about 40 or 50 inches a year. Since the principal source of most moist air in our state comes from the Gulf of Mexico, there's a gradual decrease of average precipitation from south to north. Topography, however, overrules all of that. The shielding influence of the Great Smoky Mountains affects the northern portions of our state, and the mountainous eastern border is the wettest, averaging up to 80 inches on the higher, well-exposed peaks of the Smoky Mountains. The mountainous topography also contributes to a response from summer thunderstorm activity, and makes July rainfall exceed the precipitation of any other month of the year. However, the greatest precipitation occurs during the winter and early spring over most of the state due to the frequency of these large-scale storms. The length of our growing season is also impacted by the topography, just like the temperature. The state's eastern mountainous border also has a shorter growing season than other parts of the state, with the highest mountains averaging only about a 130-day growing season when compared to the flatter areas like Memphis over here. They average about a 237-day growing season. The southern end of the Great Valley of East Tennessee also has a longer growing season. So this area right here also has a higher growing season when compared just like over here. So that's my presentation, and my name is Byron Barnes.